If you can mute our mics, though, that would be ideal.
Mr. President, Dr. Biden, Madam Vice President, Mr. Emhoff, Americans, and the world. When day comes, we ask ourselves, where can we find light in this never-ending shade? The loss we carry, a sea we must wade. We've braved the belly of the beast. We've learned that quiet isn't always peace, and the norms and notions of what just isn't always just is. And yet the dawn is ours before we knew it. Somehow we do it. Somehow we've weathered and witnessed a nation that isn't broken, but simply unfinished. We, the successors of a country and a time where a skinny black girl descended from slaves and raised by a single mother can dream of becoming president, only to find herself reciting for one. And yes, we are far from polished, far from pristine, but that doesn't mean we are striving to form a union that is perfect. We are striving to forge our union with purpose, to compose a country committed to all cultures, colors, characters, and conditions of man. And so we lift our gazes not to what stands between us, but what stands before us. We close the divide because we know to put our future first, we must first put our differences aside. We lay down our arms so we can reach out our arms to one another. We seek harm to none and harmony for all. Let the globe, if nothing else, say this is true. That even as we grieved, we grew, that even as we hurt, we hoped, that even as we tired, we tried, that we'll forever be tied together, victorious, not because we will never again know defeat, but because we will never again sow division. Scripture tells us to envision that everyone shall sit under their own vine and fig tree, and no one shall make them afraid. If we're to live up to our own time, then victory won't lie in the blade, but in all the bridges we've made. That is the promised glade, the hill we climb, if only we dare it, because being American is more than a pride we inherit. It's the past we step into and how we repair it. We've seen a force that would shatter our nation rather than share it, would destroy our country if it meant delaying democracy. And this effort very nearly succeeded. But while democracy can be periodically delayed, it can never be permanently defeated. In this truth, in this faith we trust, for while we have our eyes on the future, history has its eyes on us. This is the era of just redemption. We feared it at its inception. We did not feel prepared to be the heirs of such a terrifying hour, but within it we found the power to author a new chapter, to offer hope and laughter to ourselves. So, while once we asked, how could we possibly prevail over catastrophe? Now we assert, how could catastrophe possibly prevail over us? We will not march back to what was, but move to what shall be, a country that is bruised but whole, benevolent but bold, fierce and free. We will not be turned around or interrupted by intimidation, because we know our inaction and inertia will be the inheritance of the next generation. Our blunders become their burdens, but one thing is certain. If we merge mercy with might and might with right, then love becomes our legacy and change our children's birthright. So let us leave behind a country better than the one we were left. With every breath from my bronze-pounded chest, we will raise this wounded world into a wondrous one. We will rise from the gold-limbed hills of the west. We will rise from the wind-swept northeast, where our forefathers first realized revolution. We will rise from the lake-rimmed cities of the Midwestern states. We will rise from the sun-baked south. We will rebuild, reconcile, and recover in every known nook of our nation, in every corner called our country. Our people, diverse and beautiful, will emerge battered and beautiful. When day comes, we step out of the shade, aflame and unafraid. The new dawn blooms as we free it. For there is always light, if only we're brave enough to see it, if only we're brave enough to be it.
All right, everybody, welcome to the T.S.O Talk Show. What an awesome way to start our show. We are so excited to be here, and we thought, why not start the show off with greatness? So we had to, rewind it for you guys so you guys see it again. Justin, do I have to pull this down, or do you have to pull it down?
Yeah, I can't do it.
Oh, okay, hold on.
You have the magic touch today, not
yeah, but if I remove it, it's gonna remove you too, Justin. So you got to come back on, okay?
Is Justin connected with the video?
Okay. Here we go.
Yeah.
There
Never mind. There we go.
Thanks, Justin. All right, so before we get started with the show, I just want to let everybody know what TSO is. TSO is a youth organization based out of Abilene, Texas. We are created to give the teens the forum to speak their views and share their ideas globally and within their community. Also to help bring forth future teachers, leaders, judges, and ambassadors. And like I say, every single Monday, don't forget to like, share, and comment, and send to all your friends, because if you don't, I already did, as you can see, but do it again, because sharing is caring. Okay, one more time for the people in the back. Sharing is caring. All right, so we got a lot we got to talk about today, but first, we are going to do a show plug for you guys. We're going to start off with Finn Bolden. Finn Bolden was this morning, 12 a.m. So we're going to talk about that. Aria, what was on this past Finn Bolden show?
So actually this week we did not produce an episode just because we have been taking the next 2 weeks, or the past 2 weeks, I should say, to just rebrand, get more interviews, because we're growing really rapidly and we're getting a lot of collaborations and emails and prospective people who want to be a part of the show. So we really want to highlight those voices and spotlight them in the best way possible. So we've just taken a little break to take a moment and put everything together.
Okay. No worries. So this is some information here if you want to listen to the Finn Bolden show. I don't know why it doesn't have the website on there, but I'll put the website on the screen for you. That is the website, so you can go on and watch listen to the Finn Bolden talk show, which airs at 12 a.m. All right. So moving on. Let me go back, y'all. I'm trying something new, y'all. I'm trying to read the engineering. Pray for me. Pray for me.
Cool.
All right, and today the Hygeria Talk Show is back, y'all. And she came back with some punches. We wasn't ready. It was a good show. So Hygeria, tell us about the Hygeria Talk Show today.
I just want to say, you know me, I talk too much. So when I say I was speechless, there is something right with this lady. Honorable Judge Carolyn Nichols. She is running for the Pennsylvania Supreme Court, and honest God, go listen. I don't normally say go listen, but truly go listen to her. The 50 minutes and the whole hour is like, I felt like it just went by. We didn't even ask our questions yet. This lady has a ton of knowledge and compassion. She's going to make a huge difference. And we truly need to work hard, because I don't think someone like her it will be easy for them to be elected for this position. She want to make true change, and she want to shake and rock things, and she's just amazing. Go to her website, learn about her experience, her education. She volunteers. She is a sitting judge, like right now. Listen to her story about her dad. It will bring tears. I mean, she is just, I was just sitting like that the whole show. And then I had to remind myself, oh, I need to talk.
Those are the best shows, though. You can just sit back and let them
I
talk.
did. We both were like Heather. I was sitting. Heather's been helping me with the show. And we were just like sitting there. And when we finished, we just had to remind ourselves that we host this show. So we actually need to interact with this lady. We're not sitting in the lecture. That's how amazing and interesting she was. She wasn't boring. She talked about a lot of important issues, but she made them so easy to understand and swallow. She need signature though, guys. We need you to, like Dolphin, whatever. There is, she need at least, I think 150 to be in the ballot. But
Okay,
so
that's
they
not-
don't challenge that. She need like 6,000 or something. It's not a lot. That's from all the counties.
Okay.
So
That's not bad. That's certainly doable.
Cole is her campaign manager, and you know he's amazing.
He is.
So I'm gonna reach out to Cole, and I want all of you to do the same. Reach out to him and see what you can do to help. She's amazing.
Awesome. So don't forget the Hygeria Talk Show. Hygeria, you're gonna go back to doing your show every day.
We try to do every Monday because now we have an
Okay.
election.
Okay.
You know, they call them the small offices, but they're
Right.
as important as the presidency. So we're gonna try to get 2 people every Monday
Okay.
so people can learn about them. And
At 4 p.m.
4 p.m.
Eastern time. So make sure that if you have not liked the Hygeria Talk Show page on Facebook, make sure you do that. Or if you are friends with Hygeria, Justin, or myself, you can always see it on our pages as well. So make sure you're going there 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time so that you can click on and watch the Hygeria Talk Show. All right. And last but not least, Justin, with the Reach Out program that airs every Wednesday. Justin, how is your why are you shaking your head? No.
No, it's every Saturday now.
Every Saturday?
But you can still show that old banner. That was a fun one. This was from when we started. Just
Justin,
for a
I
little
had took it
perspective.
off.
Oh well,
Because
never
you
mind.
said
Well, yeah, I was thinking about it, but like it's pretty neat. It's from like 2015.
okay, let me see if I can get it.
I'm gonna post the link to the Facebook page. I don't know if you can show that. I'm gonna put it in private chat. See if you can do it from there. If not, I'll put it in the comments.
Here we go. This is the original from when Reach Out first started. There we go.
Look at Justin. That
Yeah.
was 6 years ago.
Yeah, that really was. That was 2015.
Oh,
And that was the old station, and Wednesdays 1 to 3. Now we're doing 1 to 3 again, but it's on Saturdays. And it's at that page. I'm not sure if you can link that or I have to put it in the comments. I'll put it in the. Oh, I can't. I guess I can't.
it's in a private chat. You can see it.
It's okay. I can actually create a banner for it. No worries. Hold on.
But talk to us meanwhile about.
Oh, I was just watching. That's a good point. This dead air is not the best. No, on this last show we spoke about talked about the increasing data-driven surveillance state and how especially cities like Los Angeles have been partnering with companies like Palantir, if you're familiar, big data aggregation corporation, like billions and like multi-billion-dollar corporation, and how what was at least proposed to be a way to discourage racial bias has actually enhanced it, which really isn't a surprise because I don't know, if you're relying on data to solve your problems, you're not going to change your mindset. Your mindset's going to stay the same.
Right.
Yeah.
We also talked a lot about austerity and kind of the history of it, the recent history in Europe and in the U.S. and how we're considering it in the U.S. again. That is, of course, cutting public services in order to, cut the debt, but really harshly so, and in a way that often benefits banks. So we get into that pretty heavily and discuss why it's really not a good idea, and it's kind of a form of graft as well, just like skimming off the top.
Okay, so don't forget to make sure that you are friends with Justin so that you can watch his show, and that's every Saturday. So make sure you guys are part. So TSO is full of a whole bunch of stuff. It's not just the TSO Live Talk Show. You got Reach Out, the Hygear Talk Show, and Fimbolden. So make sure you guys are plugging in throughout the week so that you can see what's happening with the TSO family. I also want to give a big, huge shout out to Tamara Elise Trimio out of Chicago. She had her first book signing, and it was awesome. So happy for her. We got some big things happening with our young people. We're super excited that we actually get to be a part of it. Okay. Once again, we have a lot to talk about today. Of course, we are kicking off Black History Month. We're about 8 days late, but we are here. Okay. We are here. Let me take this off the screen. So we are going to be talking about two of some awesome women, and of course we started off with Amanda Gorman, who is amazing. She is my, like, I've been like not listening to her nonstop. Hi dear, you know how I am. Once I get excited about something or somebody, I just got the googly eyes and I'm just like, ooh. And that's how I am. But Amanda Gorman has actually been around for quite some time, and it's with this inauguration that she has really taken off and blossomed. So we're going to talk about that. We're also going to talk about the history of Black History Month. Justin, you're the brains, so I'm gonna let you start first.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I kind of hope someone else had the background on Amanda Gorman to go into. Otherwise, I'll have to look it up.
Oh wait, what?
Well, I thought we were talking about Amanda Gorman, like her background and her, where she's from and
Yeah.
her, all that. Okay.
Oh, why'd you mouth it like they can't see? Okay, all right. So, Amanda Gorman, if you guys do not know, she is a poet and activist. Her work focuses on issues of oppression and feminism, race, and so she talks about a lot of different things in her poetry. She is, I believe, 25 years old, and she was raised by her mother, who loved poetry as well. And she happened to be the first youth poet. I don't know how to say the word, y'all, because y'all know I'm from Texas and I make up words. Do you know what the word is, Justin or Aria or Hajir? It's like,
I don't even know what you're talking about.
No.
Guys.
Laureate.
She is the first youth poet, and she got this award 2 years ago.
Poet laureate.
Oh
Yeah.
Laureate. Yeah.
And she was 22 to deliver the inaugural speech. The youngest poet.
Yeah.
Titled "The Hill We Climb," and
Yeah.
her delivery was spot on.
Yes.
Like the ideas were interesting. Like I'd have to look back and like consider them more to really think. But it was like definitely a message of hope, certainly, and
everything
revival and healing.
Meant something. Abra gave her that ring, and it has. Have you seen it?
Mm-mm.
It's a peace symbol. Can you hear me?
Yeah,
I didn't hear what Hajir said.
I said everything she wore, like her outfit, her jewelry. The jewelry was given to her by Oprah Winfrey. And
Okay.
A peace symbol. If you see it, she's turning her finger this way. If she turned that way, you can see that. And she's just amazing. She graduated very young from college, and her, it touched, every and each one of us, sitting and listening to her. You're going to take some part in like, I mean, I don't know.
And just to add, Maya, just to kind of you said that she was 25. Actually, she's 22, which makes it even more insane. Like, what? And she's a Harvard College grad.
Mhm.
The speech was just, it was so effervescent. It was so beautiful. It was, and just seeing her, like she said, seeing her, you know, as singing, or not singing, reciting her
Representative.
at the inauguration for the vice president and the president, the vice president, which is not only a Black woman, an Asian woman, an AKA, you know, an HBCU grad, and seeing, you know, AKAs in the audience with their pink and green on, and Black women being represented in that light. It seems so minute on the surface, but it's such a big thing just to see Kamala Harris's Black family and little Black grandchildren and granddaughters and nieces and all of that, not her grandchildren, but her nieces. That's insane. Like,
Right.
that representation matters. And I've spoken about this before. You know, if you may disagree with her policies, you may disagree with her past and what she's done in the past, but to say that the representation doesn't matter is just insane, because that's not true. It's
Right.
so
Of course.
all people, not just little Black girls or little Asian girls, everyone.
Right. And for me, you know, watching the inauguration, it was so moving. It was moving because we're in a time and a season where things are changing, and you know, are saying you have to be the change you want. And having Amanda Gorman do her poem was like a wake up call. Like, sweetie, we are here. Ding dong. Listen.
Yeah.
We are no longer in the back. We are no longer hidden. We will not be quiet. We are going to talk about this whether you like it or not. And I'm all for it, y'all. Y'all know I get super hyped. So I'm all for the change, and I'm excited for us to have representation of ourselves out there. And we spent too long not having it, or we've had it, but it's been in a negative light.
300 years.
Right. So to have this positive light come on was super dope, super amazing. And she is amazing. I didn't even know that. Awesome thing about her is that she had a speech impediment when she was a child, when she was younger. And I watched one of her interviews from 2 years ago, and she was saying that it's so crazy how you can hear yourself talk in your mind, but it's always different when other people hear you. And that was one of the things that she struggled with, and she worked hard to do to where she can deliver this speech. So it just shows that, listen, guys, no matter what's going on in your life, you can do it.
You want to hear
And
something crazy?
Sure.
You know that this speech, she finished the speech after the Capitol incident on the 6th.
Mm-hmm.
She started it. She didn't know how to approach, you know, her vote that day. And she said after the Capitol incident, she just sat down that night and finished that poem.
I believe it.
That, yeah.
But it was so quiet during her speech, even outside, like here in Pennsylvania, it was so quiet. It was like an eerie quiet, but it was like a peace. And I feel like in that moment, like it was perfectly written. And Amanda, I know you're watching us right now. We would love to have you on the show, you know.
Oh, we can make that happen.
Absolutely.
We can have up to 10 cameras. She may
have to-
certainly be one of them.
One of us is a stalker. So
Yeah,
most likely, I'm
that's
pretty
true.
sure I can send 100 emails, 100 letters, and eventually she'll say yes. So,
Yeah.
but we know you're watching. We would love to have you
We're
on
not condoning this behavior, everyone out there.
What? Stalking is healthy. I'm sorry, it's not the right stalking. But this Black History Month, the reason why, of course, this is, you know, we follow the months and the seasons of what we want to talk about, but we have a lot of things that is happening in our world where a lot of our young kids, our young adults are stepping out. They're doing things that they never thought that they could do before, and it's people like Kamala Harris and people like Amanda Gorman and Aria,
Judge Nichols,
and Judge Nichols, and it's just those our kids like that who are actually going out there and getting it. And Aria, from your perspective, like, to have Amanda Gorman do the inauguration speech, or just her in general, like as a young person, how does that make you feel? Like younger, because I'm younger.
And you're almost 30.
Stop it, Justin.
You what? Anyway.
Are too funny, but yeah, it's like I said before, you don't think about how important that is, right? Like so many people don't think about seeing someone do that, what that
Right.
does for your psyche. Seeing a black girl, skinny black girl in her words, who is,
Yeah.
you know, daughter of a single mother and the descendant of enslaved people with, you know, crochet twists in her hair, seeing someone who looks like you that can relate with
Right.
is just insane. And I'm, you know, I'm almost 18 years old, not to say that there's not much more of my life ahead of me, but imagine being a little, you know, 7, 8, 5-year-old black girl and seeing that on your TV. You feel like nothing is impossible.
Right.
You feel like that can be me one day. It's not something abstract or obscure or, you know, unachievable, which is something that so many black girls grow up feeling like. And especially from a different perspective, you know, seeing not only a black woman, but a dark-skinned black woman in that representative role in a positive light, right? Because when they do tend to represent black girls, they tend to be biracial or light-skinned.
Right.
That's in movies, you know, and The Sun is Also a Star. A Jamaican dark-skinned black girl with 4C hair was meant to be cast, and they cast Amanda Stenberg, a biracial, light-skinned
Wow.
hair. And, you know, The Hate You Give, a dark-skinned girl with 4C hair. They cast Yara Shahidi in The Sun is Also a Star and Amanda Stenberg in The Hate You Give. And that's a consistent thing, seeing Zendaya and Amanda Stenberg and Yara Shahidi, and that's your representation for black girls.
Right.
Yeah.
True.
And that's not something we really talk about much, and
Exactly.
we should. And like even within that group, it's like, well, it's okay. You're a lighter skinned black woman, so it's different. That's
Right.
ridiculous.
Yeah.
But that's how it's portrayed.
Yeah. Or your hair is is different, and you will represent, like, you are in the middle between being black and white and can fit in.
Right.
So, like, I agree with you, Arya. You know, this is totally a different approach and a way to look at it. And I want to say something else. They represent basically every area or group of people that they had the health care. The day before the inauguration, they did the memorial service.
Mhm.
I'm not sure if you guys saw that.
Mm-mm.
And they had the singing, the COVID nurse, they call her. She her video went viral at the beginning of the pandemic. She was singing the Amazing Grace for the patient. Like, they had so many patients died, and she was just like, everyone is tired in the hospital. She's staying there and she sings for them, for the patient from the outside, and after they die. So they had her. They actually flew her. She said she found the invite in her DM, and she thought it was a scam or something.
Yeah.
And she didn't believe it. Like, she was a normal young black girl who's a nurse.
Oh, I know exactly what you're
Represent
talking about now.
women, minority, and healthcare workers. She came and sang the Amazing Grace. How awesome is this?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Our times are changing. And that's why, like, I really want to stress, like, if you have something that you want to do, you want to accomplish, you have dreams, like, don't let other people's opinions, because trust and believe they're always going to have opinions, but don't let their opinions and biases stop you from accomplishing what you want to accomplish.
Mm-hmm.
And also no pressure, but the forces that don't want that are constantly pushing back at it.
Right.
It's going to be a reaction. They don't give
Right.
up. Any number of causes that, I don't know, I would support, like, and you accomplish a certain milestone that you think is, oh, that's a big step, but never forget that the people who opposed it will continue to oppose it. Like,
Right.
if you leave that gap, like,
Mhm.
it's gonna be like stepped into. It's so, yeah, and it's difficult, and you're always gonna have that opposition until one day, hopefully you don't, but that's a long ways. But
Right.
young women like Amanda Gorman. It's very inspiring.
Very. So for our second guest that we're going to be talking about, Shirley. I don't want to say her last name wrong, Justin. What is it again?
So her name is Shirley Chisholm, and I was reminded of this when I was doing my show on Saturday, and I was sitting in my co-host Bill's office. You saw him on the banner on that side, the little cardboard cutout head. She was the first African-American woman elected to Congress, and also the first African-American woman to seek the Democratic presidential nomination. That was in 1972. She was born in 1924. She actually only died in 2005, so she was around 80 at the time. She grew up in Bedford-Stuyvesant in Brooklyn. She did very well in school, graduated with honors, and she just started doing all this formative political work when she was young. When she was 18, she started the Unity Democratic Club in Brooklyn to mobilize Black and Hispanic voters.
Yep.
And in 1968, if we're doing the math, that is at the age of 26. This 26-year-old young woman at a time when no young Black woman had done it before. She ran for Congress, the U.S. Congress, and not that state Congress isn't cool, but because it is, but like it's different. And at the age of 26, she was elected to the U.S. Congress, and a bunch of stuff. She only hired women for her staff, which was pretty cool, pretty interesting.
Yeah.
She was anti-war. And you've heard of NOW now, the National Organization for Women?
Yep.
She was a co-founder. She was one of the co-founders at the time.
So speaking of Shirley, I was reading up a lot about her, and her. So when she had got ill in 91 when she moved to Florida, and she declined the position to be ambassador of Jamaica. Okay. And one of her last interviews, somebody had asked her, what do you want to be remembered for? And she said, I want to be remembered as a woman who dared to be a catalyst of change. Okay. That's a powerful statement. And in that statement, fast forward to 2000, and I was about to say 2015, y'all. Fast forward to 2021. Look at us here with Amanda Gorman, with Kamala Harris. Look at how far. Now, it's taken a lot of time, but look at where we are. Look at where we are. And we have these powerful women that we're going to keep talking about for the rest of this month. But we have these powerful women and these examples to follow. And we cannot neglect the opportunity to carry that, the baton.
It's not a baton.
The drums.
No,
Carry
the
the
thing for the
Passing the torch.
Olympics,
Yes.
the torch.
Yeah.
The thing for the Olympics. We're like playing a game here.
Yo, listen. I had a venti coffee.
What
that had
is-
pumps of sugar in it, so that's why.
Yo, who DoorDashed at Starbucks for real? An iced latte from Starbucks. I'm saying like that ice is going to be melted by the time they get there.
Yeah,
It's not their
I
fault.
did, and I have 10 pumps of sugar on it, so that's why I said baton. It's not baton. It's passing the torch. That's why we cannot let this torch go unpassed. That means we got to really get out there. We have to push for greatness. We got to be that change. Things are already changing, and we have to make sure that in 2021 we are staying on that course to get to where we want to be.
Yeah.
And also, let's remember, I think we talked about this in the interim. And Jira, I was especially, like to hear your stuff. I think over the next month, we're going to definitely go back and hit some stuff that we talked about. Because I'm always thinking, what if Azir thought of this? So this would be my first one. And just the idea that we talked about that 2020 was not some aberration. Yeah, I mean, COVID was here, but 2020 isn't this magical year that's just going to disappear.
Right.
Like, we did things and lived in a way that led to this, I call it year from hell, terrible year, whatever you want to call it.
Mhm.
It's not just some magical year that's going to go away once COVID is gone. Like, it exposed some like serious flaws in our political system, but also really laid bare, racism and all sexism and all sorts of ugly parts that we don't like to think about much, but are certainly a part of this country.
Yeah. Yeah. And I definitely, personally, 2020 took a huge toll on me emotionally with the election. And it wasn't just an election to me, and it wasn't Biden or Kamala or whoever was running. It was just, how are we in 2020, and we still have someone like Trump supported by 73 million, your neighbor. So that's basically, look around you. If you have 4 people around you, at least 2 of them or one of them is a Trump supporter. And it's not about the person or his politics. It's about who he represents. He brought the ugliness in all of us. I mean, he brought it. It was just a huge. I don't think we can ever get past 2020, but I hope we can use this for our advantage and learn from it, from our mistake. I'm trying to learn and be like, it's not all black and white, and I don't mean black and white as a race. I mean,
Right.
B is like, there are certain things I don't even accept discussion, and I need to try to think about other people's perspectives and where they're coming from. But at the same time, when it comes to rights, human rights, and when it comes to a joint effort, like a group effort, I, I would like to see more of involvement from everyone in our area. Um, for example, you said change. Judge Nichols, she stands out to me because she's going to be the first. I'm not sure if you heard the video. She's the only Black and minority woman in the whole system. There are 35 judges to her court and the Supreme Court, and she's in what is she in now?
It's the federal system
The
or like the
superior,
appellate system.
the superior. She's a judge at the PA Superior Court and the Pennsylvania Supreme Court. She's the only. Just let that simmer, like sit right there. The people who decide who goes to jail, she said, as a new lawyer, she was stopped. They didn't allow her to enter the court. The guy that just the guy, the security guy,
Wow.
he let everyone go, and he questioned her. That was her first day ever at the job.
Wow.
He said, she basically doesn't look like a lawyer. You need to show me your ID. Oh yeah.
Oh.
She went there, and she said the judge was looking and okay with this behavior, and that's why she wanted to become a judge, because she
Don't get me wrong, like, that's racist and messed up. But
oh yeah,
like, they're in a system where they just see white people all the time, and like, I'm not saying it's understandable, but like, that's all you see, and that's a big part of the problem.
yes, exactly. And that's why we need to make a difference. If she gets elected, she will be, and let that, again, sit right there in your head, simmer. She'll be the first Black woman to ever be elected to the PA Supreme Court. This is history. Let's make history, guys. But again, I was sitting there, even I know what is going on. When she was talking about that, I was just sitting there and say, are you serious? And then I caught myself like, yes, she is serious. She's a sitting judge, And the change, we're not going to see change unless we see people that representing us.
Right.
Be the change you want to be. And like Ariel said, we need to see our representation. I need to see someone who looks like me, as a judge, as a lawyer, as a teacher, every job that available. And that's not going to happen until we all go and vote for those people to be in office.
Right.
I'm done.
I do see we have a comment from our Facebook. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in to us on Facebook Live and also on YouTube Live. Had to throw that plug in there. Make sure you go on YouTube and subscribe to our channel as well. And this is from Chris. I don't have my glasses on. Paula Patrick is a black. I can't see.
Conservative woman who is
conservative
running
woman
for state Supreme Court.
State Supreme Court.
Now, I'll be honest, I'm not familiar enough with the races to know who's really running yet, but
Yeah,
I've heard of
running again.
Carolyn Edwards before. I have heard.
Our point, Chris, is not, just having a black person. I don't want any representation. That's not what we meant, and that's not what I mean. We want the right person to represent. So the point is not just putting a black person as a police officer or a judge or a teacher or whatever. We don't want them to just be, and that's what is happening in all companies. Like they will have, oh, this is my minority,
Right.
with the guideline. I'm going to hire one black or Asian or whatever person to represent. No, we won't qualify. Then we have qualified people to fit those jobs. Most of them don't run or don't get the support. And also the money is a big factor. When you are running grassroots campaign, you are not going to win because someone like Heather was running with a $2,000 that her friend supported her, and her opponent had a $20,000. It's not a fair fight.
Right.
And we're never going to be the same and equal as long as there is ways that someone else can win because they're able to get their voice heard. They're able to get airtime on TV, news station, get billboard, get whatever, get the help that they can get. So I forgot whoever wrote that comment. My point is not just a black representative. I want someone who can actually represent and do the job, not just for black and minorities, but for everyone. I don't want someone who doesn't see color, because I want you to see my color, respect it, and treat me based on my knowledge, not based on my color. And that judge or the police officer need to be fair to black, white, anybody. And that's the one that fits the job description.
And I don't necessarily think that even being a conservative would rule you out of that. I remember back when we interviewed Tim DeFore, who wanted Auditor General, and hey, that was great for him.
Right.
Look, I like Nina Ahmad a lot, but I think he's going to do a great job. And I mean, he is conservative, and perhaps in a budgetary office, that's the way to go. I don't know, but I don't think being conservative would eliminate you from that. I think it's just how you deal with the issues and how you treat people and how you interact with things.
Exactly. And Hajir, what you were saying, I couldn't agree with it more. You said it beautifully. So I'm just gonna say what you were saying reminded me so much. You were talking about how it's as if if you have a conservative black person or any person that doesn't align with traditional, not even traditional, because most black people at their core are conservative when you think of the ideologies and the things that they follow, but racism is what allows them to be democratic. And that's a whole different discussion. When you speak about transgender people or homophobia or misogyny in the black household is a whole different discussion. But it reminds me, although we haven't been making episodes for Fembold, and we have been posting infographics and comprehensive guides about certain aspects of intersectional feminism, and one of them was about girl boss feminism, which is something that I recently learned up about, which basically the ideology is there are two different definitions to girl boss feminism. One is saying, I'm a girl who is a boss. I'm achieving great things. It doesn't necessarily mean that I'm an entrepreneur, but it means that I am paving the way for other girls who may or may not look like me. But the other kind of way that girl boss feminism and just being a girl boss as a term in its whole is received is very degrading, very manipulative, very demeaning, and very backwards thinking, right? And so on the surface, it's like, how does that make sense? But when you think about it in its core, and this relates to what Hajir was talking about, Many corporations, for example, will have one white cisgender heterosexual white woman as their token diversity, and they can call themselves a girl boss company. They can call themselves inclusive, but in the structural frameworks of not only their company but the institutions at large are not inclusive, are not diverse, and that one white cisgender heterosexual woman is not representative of all women, let alone all people, right? So it's not representative of diversity. Also, it can be demeaning in that the white women who are elected to those positions, right, will use being a girl boss and being a woman as a way to dismiss and disregard their inherent privileges as white women, and to say, I'm a girl and I did it, so you can do it because you're a girl, without recognizing that white privilege exists, right? Without recognizing financial privilege as a subsect of white privilege. You were born into a wealthy white family, so it's not surprising to me that you were able to find yourself in these high-ranked positions. And it's not because you're a woman who climbed yourself up from the bottom. That's not to say that white women don't face problems and misogyny and any of that, but it's that disregard of it. And it ties into what Hajir was saying, because when you have that, like, this is our diversity ticket, and like Chris said, she looks like you. That's what you said, right? People that look like you.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, in a sense, right? But if I see a woman who looks like me saying that homosexuality is wrong, being transgender is wrong, if you're a Black woman who doesn't, act subservient to your husband and you're inherently a bad person is wrong, that representation doesn't matter for me, right? Because you're demeaning me, you're demeaning my people, you're demeaning people that may or may not look like me, and that's not who I want to have in office. So yes, representation matters to an extent, and I think that comment that Hajir made was misconstrued by Chris, because it's not just about representation. It does matter, but I just had to go into that because it was too.
When you're done, I just want to say something, Justin. I'm sorry, Chris. She looks like me. Yes, and that's important. Why? Because you want to see yourself represented, but that doesn't mean anyone looks like me need to be in that office. We're talking about qualification. We're talking about there's so many people that looks like me, but do I want all of them to be in office? No, I want someone who's qualified, but I don't want their look to disqualify them or to qualify them. I want them to have the same treatment, the fair treatment. I don't want their financial issue to affect them, which we all know that's a huge factor. I don't want their economic status or their sexual identity or anything, or even gender identity to affect them. That's the first part. The second part, Tim DeFord is extremely qualified. We did not argue about that, but not because he is a Black representative that I'm going to vote for him. I voted for Nina because she's progressive and she fit what I believe in. Tim DeFord is a good friend of mine, and he knows that I did not vote for him. I think he is extremely qualified. He
Absolutely
him all the way after he won. But did I want Nina to win? Yes, I did, and I'm not apologetic about that.
And he was also on our show,
Oh yeah, and he was on my show, and I will support him. We work together. I love him dearly, but when it comes to office, I don't want a representation like just to look like me. I want it to look like me, represent me.
Right.
Sorry.
And that's the most important part. I'm so glad that Hajir and Aria touched on it. Justin, don't look up like that.
He wants to talk.
Oh, you noticed that?
Yes, like the Brady Bunch.
I was doing Hajir. I was waiting till Arya said something. I was going to do up.
Sorry.
It's important that those points were spoken, because too often people say a lot, and I hear this a lot. Well, this person looks like you, but just because they look like
president,
right? You have to be qualified, and when we say that we're so excited that we have somebody who looks like us to be our vice president, it's not just because she is a minority, and I really want people to understand that, because if we stay in this same track of mind, if we stay in that one frame of mind, we're never going to get anywhere. Qualifications are important. They're important. You can't just go by looking at them, judging a book by its color. You can't just go by that.
Mm-hmm.
And just to circle it back around to something we've been hitting on the past few weeks, and just want to kind of reiterate it, like all the parts matter. Every part of what someone believes, where they come from, their background, their learning, their perspective, their race, their gender, everything matters. It's all intersectional. It all intersects.
Exactly.
And I don't know, all the things are important, which is why, even if Tim DeFore like may not believe in some of the principles I would have supported myself, like everything else like would have made me feel okay voting for him. Like I would have been fine. Like I would have done it because it, decent man, sound fiscal policy, everything. But I mean, Hajir, same as that. I voted for Nina because, she was more progressive, but the same thing, like all the little things do matter.
Right.
And
thank you, Chris, for watching. We do appreciate you watching and commenting. Thank you so much. And we'll definitely look into Paula Patrick as well, and maybe she'll be included in our shows for this series that we're doing here. So we do appreciate you watching. Thank you so much. Go ahead, Hajir. Sorry, I just had to throw that out there.
Oh no, I'm good. I'm listening to you.
Okay, and I want to, Aria, I want to go back to what you said. So, Shirley's motto when she was running, was unbossed and unbrought. And hearing you talk about that, I was like, yeah, absolutely. Okay, that's why y'all, things is changing, and we got to make sure that we got our boots on, they are strapped, we got our leather jacket on and our hat. And we are ready, okay?
Well, vegan leather. Let's be fair here.
Yes.
Of course, Justin. But we have to be ready, and let's be unbossed and unbought.
I just want to say something. When Aria was talking about, that stereotype of a bossy girl, and
yeah,
I did have a whole show with the head vice president. She's amazing. You guys have to have her on for Black History. She made history. But don't be apologetic. Like when we talk about our right, they look at you as an angry woman or an angry Black woman or a boss. She's a bossy girl. But when the boy does something and the same thing that the girl did, he's a leader. He's this, and get all this encouragement. So I want the bossy girl and angry, Black woman or angry woman to be out of our vocabulary, because me talking about my rights, standing up for my rights and every other woman's right, that does not make me angry. I'm compassionate and passionate about what I wanted. Like being strong and advocating for things like that does not make me angry. It just makes me more passionate about what I care about or I'm talking about. So I don't like the bossiness and the angry, stereotype.
Right. That's why I like her motto. And she wasn't a powerful woman, and we have a lot of powerful women who are out there, especially our young women coming up. We have a lot of them who are ready to make change and be the change that they want. And it all starts with you. It all starts with, creating something where you have a platform to speak about these things. Education is key, and the part of education is learning things that you might not want to learn about, but it's important for you to know. So platforms like the Hajir Talk Show, Reach Out, Fembolden, the T.S.O. Live Talk Show, like all these platforms have been created to educate you so that you can get your bootstraps and your vegan leather coat and go out there and make change. But if we continue to sit, if we continue to sit and have the mindset that just because we have this one person who looks like us, then we're going to continue to be in the same cycle that we are now. So that's why your homework from the TSO Live Talk Show, Reach Out, Fembolden, and the Hajir Talk Show is to go out there and create something that's going to help bring about peace, okay? And you can't kill hate with hate.
Yeah.
You can only do that with love. And the biggest part of love is educating yourself to know and putting yourself in the positions of other people. So you know these different lifestyles and these different, feelings of why people feel the certain way they do, okay? So that's your homework. Go out there and be a part of something. If you would like to be a part of reach out to Justin. If you would like to be a part of Embolden,
Wow.
reach out to Aria. If you would like to be a part of the TSO Live Talk Show, you can reach out to all of us. Or the Hygear Talk Show, reach out to Hygear. What did you say, Justin?
If you want to be part of the TSO Live Talk Show, you could speak out to us. If you want to be part of the Hygear Show, you could talk to us. If you want to be part of Embolden, I'm sorry.
You can-
I like where you were going.
Yeah, but I got nothing for that. Like, you got to embolden. I don't know. I don't have one for that.
There's different ways that you can be a part, but go out there and do it. Okay, don't just sit and be like, oh, it eventually is gonna get better, because it won't get better until we all come together and make it better. Okay. So that's your homework, guys. Go out there, be the change you want to be. We'll see you guys back here on Monday, and we'll see all of you guys on your show, Justin on Saturday and Aria and Hygear on Monday. Okay. So, hey guys, we love you guys. Thank you so much for watching, everybody who tuned in and who commented. We appreciate you. Hola, Chichi. Thank you for watching. Yes, so we love you guys. Thank you for being a part of our show. If you would like to be a part of the TSO Live Talk Show, please send us an email at tsolivetalkshow@gmail.com or contact Hygear or Aria or Justin, and we will get you on there. So we love you guys. Thank you so much for being a part of our show, and we will see you guys next Monday. Bye.
Bye.
See you.